Today, we are talking with an amazing woman who took her passion from college and brought it out into her future and created a whole thriving business, actually, businesses around that. So, join me in welcoming Elise Kutt, and she is the founder of MODBettie and NAUGHTYBettie. So, let's find out more about you, Elise. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, of course. Okay, so tell us about your journey. You were in art school and somehow you got to where you are now. So how did that, when did you decide to be an entrepreneur? How did this go down?
So my story really starts with a big fail. And I went from high school to college at Michigan State University. And I tried a different major every semester and was very overwhelmed with the idea of figuring out what you want to be when you grow up at like the age of 18.
Uh-huh.
and and I failed miserably. I failed out of college, and I took one photography course at the community college, and I realized that that was my calling and that was my passion. So I went to art school at the School of the Art Institute of Chicago, and while I was there, I built my portfolio on self portraits, really out of convenience, almost like an accident. I could teach myself lighting and I could teach myself retouching while like closed up in a room for hours, just kind of playing and learning and experimenting. And it was many years after where I had a chance to reflect on that experience. And I realized that that was the point in my life when I was starting to fall in love with myself, starting to find confidence in who I am. And I realized that there was a power in using the camera as a tool or as a form of art therapy. And so I realized that that was something that I could offer other women to experience in much of the same way that I did. And so for me, my story is like I fell in love with a boy and I realized I was going to be leaving Chicago and moving to West Michigan. And I kind of had a like freak out moment. Like, what am I going to do in West Michigan? Totally saturated with photographers. And it was reflecting on that experience that I had with these portraits that I felt really confident in, that I realized that there was something here that I could offer other women. So I started MODBettie Portrait Boutique. We started exclusively retro pinup. That was, a passion of mine, vintage everything. And over the years, I started getting asked for more modern boudoir styles and realized that that was I guess I did it backwards, where we're taught to niche down and get very specific. But what I realized was that I could cast a wider net because different things empower different women. So it was a matter of some might want to take off more clothes, some might want to put on more gowns, and just I realized that my brand is built on empowerment first, and it doesn't matter what you choose to wear in your photo shoots. The experience can be a really powerful way to see ourselves.
What I love about what you just shared is that's the beauty of being a small business, right? We can pivot, we can adjust. We're paying attention to our own data, right? We don't need some giant AI program to tell us what the data is for a lot of the decisions that we make. And that's what you did. And it seems like it's worked out beautifully because now you have a whole nother company. When did you start this other company, NAUGHTYBettie? When did NAUGHTYBettie come to fruition?
Yeah, so I'll piggyback off of what you just said, and I think that I have a ability to like really listen to what my clients need and to be able to problem solve that. And so when I started shooting more modern boudoir styles, I noticed a problem. My clients were struggling to find lingerie for their boudoir shoots, whether they were ordering online and trying a million different things to find the right thing, or were very intimidated by some of the usual shopping experiences that we have around intimates. And so I wanted to solve that problem. I knew that this empowerment experience needed to be very intentional from the very start to the very end. And I was noticing along my client's journey in the process that there was like that squidgy period of having to go find lingerie for an experience like this. And I noticed that I knew I didn't want them to have that experience with any part of the process of my brand. And so I set out to solve that. And really just by listening to what they were telling me about their time shopping. And so I added NAUGHTYBettie in 2018, 5 years after launching the photography studio. And I hired a retail consultant who helped me navigate the retail world as somebody that had never worked a day of retail in my life. I knew that I needed to get help and support learning the things that I didn't know. And we opened the boutique in 2018, and now we have this beautiful experience-based retail concept where I've got clients coming in to shop for lingerie that don't know that I have a boudoir studio in the back, and they're becoming boudoir clients. Or I have boudoir clients that book a shoot and are like, I'm so glad that you have this beautiful, comfortable space where they can shop and find what they want for their photo shoots.
That's so awesome. Talk about cross promotion.
It,
Perfect.
it's magic the way that both businesses feed each other, and the way that we can build events around this concept. We host all kinds of female empowerment events regularly and just try to get women into this space where they can connect with other women going through similar things in life.
So, what has been your biggest obstacle in either
Mm.
business or both businesses? What has been something that you have encountered where, like, whoa, I don't know if I can overcome this, or this is insanely stressful? Name one time where you experienced that, which we've all
Uh,
had, right?
yeah, for me, it's been building a team. I've got the ideas and I'm the idea person, but building a team and managing people has been an obstacle for me for sure. I've learned so much about myself in these years, and just trying to continue to grow as a leader, trying to be exactly the type of mentor that my team needs from me, and the way that I feel so lucky to have so many mentors around me helping support me. But at the end of the day, it was a real awakening, like, as somebody that exists in the world and is like, I want everyone to love me and I love everyone. It was a real awakening of like, okay, that's probably not going to be the way to grow this business. And you're going to need to get comfortable being uncomfortable. And that's something that I think I will continue to work on for a hot minute. It doesn't happen overnight, but really being able to get clear in what I need and being able to articulate that is really difficult as a creative. We've got the big ideas, we don't quite know how to like get them out into the world and to get the people that support us the information that they need, because they can't read our brains, and I wish they could, but they can't.
It's coming. I know there's some science out for that soon. But what you said about, you're creative, but you knew you needed people around you to grow your businesses. And I can't tell you how many entrepreneurs I've talked to who are so darn scared of hiring that first person. It just seems like this overwhelming thing for them to do. And, I've owned businesses for over 25 years. And the way that we did grow from very early on was hiring employees. So to me, I don't think about it anymore because I've been doing it for so long, right? But it is a big fear. And you mentioned two things that stood out to me. And I see these as probably two critical things that helped you grow so fast and grow to the level that you have, is when you talked about mentorships. You talked about you've never worked one day in retail, but then you went and got a specialist who knew what you didn't know, right? And then number two, you talked about having mentors around you to help you adjust to this new reality, stretching you outside of your comfort zone. For everyone who's listening, listen to what she's saying. She is a creative, and creatives are wonderful at certain things, but often, don't take this critically at all, you creatives are not fabulous at the detail orientation. That's not fun for you. That's not what comes naturally. We all have the things that we're strong at and the things that we kind of stink at. But you figured out the right way to go about it so you could achieve your big objectives.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're I think first of all, getting really honest about our strengths is step one, and then be being able to learn, because that for me was a learning, how to find the right fit to help support me in the ways that I'm, have the most room for growth. It's like, how do you find the right people, the right butts in the right seats to help this ship keep moving forward? And over the years, I've learned so much about myself and my personal core values and how they show up in my leadership styles that has helped me help them. And now this year I'm bringing on associate photographers for the first time, and continuing to move forward into this growth, allowing me to take a step back and to do more things like writing and coaching and hosting retreats and all of the other things that I'm doing in the education spheres. But like, I feel now so glad that I truly believe I have the right people in the right seats, and that we work together very well.
When you have the right people around you, isn't it just like, it's exhilarating, isn't it, to see your dreams, your goals, your big goals come to life, and know that you don't have to do it all by yourself. Woo! That is
Absolutely.
so empowering. So what would be I know we've listed a number of things, but do you have one big takeaway that you would suggest to an entrepreneur who wants to grow $1 million plus company, of what they should be focusing on?
Yeah, I think I would suggest building community around your brand. That's at the end of the day, we're not selling stuff, we're selling relationships, and we want to build relationships with our clients that last the test of time. And I feel like that's something we've done very well over the years, is building community around our brand that really know, trust, and love us. And so they do a lot of the they spread that love very organically for us because they believe in this mission that we're doing. And so whether it's by building and hosting events centered around the female experience, like we get them in that room and we help them feel seen, and then they will they'll spread our brand name to the rooftops and share that in a way that feels very authentic and beautiful.
All right, Elise, I know people are listening like, what? She can make me feel like good like that in underwear, sexy underwear, which let's talk about how empowering that is. So, Elise, where can they go find out more about you?
Absolutely. MODBettie.com is our portrait studio. We're located in West Michigan, but we host empowerment retreats all over the world. And then NAUGHTYBettie is our lingerie boutique. NAUGHTYBettie.com.
I love it. So those will be in our show notes, so you can all go check her out and hopefully attend. If you're not in Michigan, go attend one of your events anywhere in the world. I think that's just so phenomenal. We're going to definitely have to continue to talk about that, because I think that's amazing. Thank you so much for being here with us and sharing your genius and your journey.
Thank you so much for having me.
To be the best, you need to play with the best. You might not have your own personal high-level circle of women yet, but you can hang with us on the Female Millionaire Show. I'm Midori, serial entrepreneur for over 25 years, and I interview badass female founders and cut through to what you really need to know. So in 20 minutes, you have what can take years to learn. If you're wanting to play bigger, come play with us. Join the female entrepreneur revolution today. Cheers.